So for topic 4, thank you guys for watching up to this point so far. This is Wednesday, and I think you guys know what day we're on, just like Jack knew exactly where he was in Davy Jones' locker. It's Wednesday. Tomorrow is the big day. Tomorrow night, Pirates 5 comes out. Tyler and I will be seeing it. If you've made it this far, you've watched 3 of our topics. This is topic 4. We're going to have, we also have a special Pirates video out today talking about our top 5 predictions for Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. So definitely go check that out. It's, we just run through what we think is going to happen, the biggest things. Tomorrow, we're going to finish off this, topic 5 of community questions and comments. And we're also going to have a special video kind of going through what we're going to talk about in the future after Pirates 5 comes out, because we're not done with it just yet, and actually not even close. So, topic 4. We've kind of walked around this topic, and we've like touched it, but a lot of these topics have been like best of or favorite. So, we love Pirates, and we love Pirates for a lot of reasons, but let's kind of single it down now. So you can either go, it doesn't matter how you do it, Tyler, movie by movie or just in general. What's your most memorable / favorite, really, most memorable Pirates of the Caribbean scenes? What are the best things that you've seen there?
Oh, jeez. Best scenes.
Or moments.
Well,
moment.
No, yeah.
Same thing.
The opening of Pirates of the Caribbean: Curse of the Black Pearl, when Jack is arriving on his little whatever, barely even a freaking boat for a bathtub. When he's arriving on that, and like you don't know that it's you don't know because he's on the top of it, on top of the sail, so you don't even know the size of the ship. And then to see it constantly come down, and then you see his foot and how he arrives just on time, but like somehow he planned it that way.
Right.
That's what's funny about it. But like for that to happen, that whole scene, that is my favorite scene. That's actually why I used it for I think it was the history of Jack Sparrow. It was in one of the graphics and at the end of our videos. Because it's one of my favorite scenes of him, like just the way he's standing, not in a powerful posture, but there's something about him that gives off power. It's weird. Mm-hmm. So that's one of my favorite scenes, and then almost right after that, when he pays off the guy for to tie down your boat and you have to pay a fee.
Yep.
I love he pays him off basically, and then he takes the coins right after, and it's like that's right in the beginning. Like that was funny. That's Jack Sparrow. So I'd almost include that as one whole moment. Like that is an awesome. I mean, think about that. That's the opening of, for the most part, besides the.
It was the best part
almost.
Yeah.
But that's the opening for Jack Sparrow, and that's hilarious. Because that shows you all you need to know about Jack Sparrow. Yep. So that's one of my favorite moments. How many am I doing? 3?
No, just however many you want.
Oh, Jesus. Well, can I just do the entire movie of 2 minutes? No. So that one. My other favorite moment, that's actually it for Curse of the Black Pearl. I do like it, but I feel like there's other ones in the other movies. Yeah. For Dead Man's Chest, like I said earlier, when Will and Gibbs and his crew, when they're all stuck on the island in the bone ball.
Yeah.
That whole everything, that's that stands out as one of the best moments in the entire franchise to me. Mm-hmm. That whole chase, including with Jack and all that stuff, that's just and how Jack, he's running and he's like and he misses the girls and then he flips and all that, and then when he gets stuck and then he's untying himself, all of that's hilarious.
Yep.
So that is probably my favorite moment of all. But then another favorite moment is when Elizabeth, at the end of 2, when Elizabeth goes to grab the rifle, and then all of a sudden you see a poo. And I knew it was Jack's, but when you're in the moment and you're like, fuck, these people might all die. You don't know, because you just don't know. And then when it zooms up, and then just that power stance where you're on the ground and you're looking up to Jack, who is he just left, he just ran away, and to see him how serious he is, and he picks it up and he does the rifle. That's a very powerful moment too for me, especially for Jack, because that's the first time when I watched Jack Sparrow when I said, That's the real Jack Sparrow. That's the real man that he is.
Yeah.
And I like that because he really, like I said before, when he is a good man, just like Elizabeth told him that he is and knew that he was.
Yeah.
He is a good man, and he really is. He really is a hero, and he tries. What's funny is he tries to run away from being that person, but he just can't because that's not who he is. Well, I mean, you guys go watch Alex's History of Jack Sparrow, and he's been that way from the beginning. He's always been that kind of person.
Yeah.
He's always been people's hero, and he's always been a good man. It's just funny how no matter what he does, he always tries to avoid it. But it doesn't matter because he always ends up having to be that person.
Yep.
So that was for 2. In 3, probably the final battle, but like mainly what stands out to me, maybe because of the featurette trailer, I don't know, but I think it's just myself. When Davy Jones and Jack are fighting on the sail, that's an awesome scene. In the rain, and the camera's kind of panning around, like, that's just awesome. So that's a big one. And then, I don't know, is that, and the whole for Barbossa's crew, I'm going to call it, for them to get to the locker, basically for them to all kill themselves.
Yeah.
So I guess technically, all of that, like when they're traveling, and then the night, how the sky looks, and you just see a boat going across the screen, but it looks like it's space basically, top and bottom, because that's how clear the water is. Like it's just, or not clear, that's just how reflective it is. I mean, that, the ice, and then when the waterfall, like that's all like, I mean that's just a crazy thing that in other Pirates movies, 1 and 2, you would never expect to see beautiful shots like that.
Right.
You just wouldn't. And what's funny is the characters during those moments, even they're like awestruck.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they've never seen anything like that. They're used to freaking Tortuga and either really dirty stuff, or they're used to like Will and Elizabeth. They're used to not as beautiful and natural as that. You know what I mean? Like they knew the adventure was going to be a dark one. Jack's dead, but they never expected for that moment to be. And then it goes right into and we're dead. But so those are probably my favorite. Now, if I want to throw in another one that I know I'm going to have, based on the trailers, is when Salazar and all of his men jump off the ship and they land on the water.
Oh, yeah.
I just did a jump motion. They land on the water and then they start running on the water.
Yeah.
That looks so cool because it's in the day and they're so dark. Just the contrast between what they're wearing, all black, with the light water, like it just looks cool. Looks really cool.
Yeah.
So those are my favorite.
Yeah. So I mean, Pirates 1. I'd say I didn't really like the Jack and Will fight's cool. I don't think that's really like the most memorable moment of 1, but it's cool to see Jack kind of like teach Will or test Will out fighting wise, which is cool to see, like just to start out. Seeing Barbossa's whole crew being undead, that's kind of cool. But yeah, there's not a ton of huge moments in 1. The Jack fight with Barbossa, especially, I mean, when Barbossa stabs Jack, that's another one. If you don't pay attention, you don't see that Jack hides the medallion, you could think Barbossa won there. You could think he actually killed Jack. So that one's kind of, or like him shooting. Actually, that's something that I kind of got caught off guard too. One of the first times I saw it was when Barbossa pulls the gun out to Elizabeth and you hear the gunshot. It's like, oh, he is the kind of guy where he probably could have shot her. And then you find out Jack is the one who shot him. But that was like a scary scene for like the 2.5 seconds that you don't know, and Elizabeth makes the face that like makes it possible. That's a cool scene. 2, the 2 Kraken fights, even the first one, because the first one's the first time you really get to see, like, okay, this is a huge beast and it can literally just absolutely destroy a ship. The first time you see Davy Jones is really cool when he's stepping and you only see his legs, you see his crab leg. And then you see him and he's smoking the. Hey, do you fear death? It's like wow, like this is you're not Barbossa, and we've never gotten a guy who's scarier yet. Salazar could be, but so like seeing Davy Jones in that, I definitely agree with you. Like see that Jack scene. Is really powerful when he is very focused in. He takes the shot, and then even when he says, as they're leaving, and then Gibbs says, "But the Pearl," and then Jack says, "It's only a ship, mate." Like that's who I know. He loves the ship. Like Black Pearl Black Pearl. You could argue is a main character of these movies, but he loves it, but he does understand it's the ship or us. So we have to let the ship go. So that's a pretty emotional, like, there's not much he can do in this situation, so he has to do it. 3, every scene in 3. But more importantly, my favorite scene in the entire movie, one of my favorite scenes in any movie ever is when they're leaving Singapore and Tia Dalma says Elizabeth asks if Sao Fang will honor the call, and Tia Dalma says, hopefully, but there's a evil on this sea that even the most most bloodthirsty pirates have come to fear. And then it shows the Flying Dutchman come out of the water, and it just annihilates those ships. It's the incredible theme in the background. I think it's in the soundtrack. It's called "At Wit's End," but it's towards the end of that song. It's Davy Jones's theme. It's their necklace. Like that scene is so powerful and so epic and like big. It's so big scale for being such a. It's not even a big moment. It's just showing him. It's just showing he's doing the East India Trading Company's deeds and he's destroying these ships. But that's epic. Jack's talk with Beckett on the ship. I really do wish they had the deleted scene put back in with the "men aren't cargo, mate." That's one of the best lines I think Jack would ever say in any movie.
Yeah, that should be there for more understanding of who he is.
Yeah, that's sad that it's not, because that really, I think that more than absolutely anything would show how who he really is. And even if you don't, even just by that line, you still probably wouldn't even know what the heck he's talking about that much. But you do have an understanding that he and Beckett have some prior past history. But that scene's great. Seeing the Brethren Court, not really as memorable, but that's a cool scene. And then the fight, like I said, Davy Jones versus Jack. The camera spins around them as they're fighting. You only get 30 seconds of it, but you get 2 different times of it. And it's oh my god, this is the hero, the coolest character in these movies, Jack, versus the best villain, a very strong character in Davy Jones. Jack fights a little bit with swords in the previous movies, but I really wanted to see him take on the main villain. So that was an absolutely epic scene. And really anything after that was really cool. His goodbye with Elizabeth is pretty powerful. Him with Gibbs saying, "Take what you can, give nothing back." He has so many strong moments at the end of that movie. It's one of the strongest moments I think is even the very ending when he's on the dinghy and he pulls out the compass and it points behind him to the rum.
Moment too. I actually forgot about that moment.
Yeah,
that's a nice. See, I can picture that moment.
That's a finale of him.
Jack. Oh yeah, but Jack on the Pearl.
Yep. Yeah.
Doing something similar to that, but not even looking at his compass and just going.
Yep.
That I can see being the end, when they're actually done, and the final Jack Sparrow scene. I can see it being very similar to that.
Yep.
But on the Black Pearl,
he
doesn't care about what the compass says.
Right, like we talked about in the comment on one of our videos, how we both agree. I definitely, I didn't respond to your point, but that was an excellent point. That you normally see his face, and then they pan out, and you see the ship.
And then they pan out, and it's the ship.
Yeah.
It'll be the opposite, though.
Yep. That'd be very cool, just to see, him smile as the last thing, him happy. That
kind of like the image that I used in our Sea of Wrath video, where it's black and white, and it's Jack, and he's kind of hanging onto the ship's wheel. I could see it being like that, with a smirk, I mean. I could see it being that, not in black and white, obviously. But I could see it being that. As the ending scene for Jack Sparrow.
Right. And I mean,
whenever it ends.
In 4, there's really no the only things in 4 that you can really pull on as good are like the smaller personal scenes between Barbossa, and those aren't, they're memorable. They're not memorable for the same reason. I do think that when Jack is yelling to the men in the water with the mermaids to get out of the water, that's a memorable scene in which you remember it, that like he does care about these guys. His talk with Barbossa about the day that the Black Pearl was lost, and then Barbossa says taken, not lost. Like that was cool. And honestly, that story that he tells of like the ship started to like make sounds and then it grabbed them, that would have been a better movie than 4 to show that. So like they should have rethought that part. But like those scenes are good. And when he, when Barbossa tells you his plan that I need my right hand, or I need my good hand to drive my venomous blade through Blackbeard's heart, and then Jack says, I'll see to it that you get the chance. Like that's a cool, because even in 3 you do get to see them be friends. I think actually another, going back, one final memorable scene in 3, a very good scene, is when they're talking next to the dead Kraken. And then they're talking about how they're talking about their past,
the world being smaller.
The world's smaller, and that it's not smaller.
You think it's not smaller? Yeah.
That's a very good, because right before then you had them hold up pistols to each other. They wanted to kill each other.
Right.
But then you get this very like, we're living proof, you and me. Like we've been through a lot together. Like that's a very cool personal brotherhood kind of bond that those two have. So any time you get to see that, and I know we'll see it in 5, because we do think Barbossa's dead. We do think he's gonna die. I think obviously they would know that, so I think they'll put in some personal Jack Barbossa moments to get you to just remember that these two actually do care for each other. I think they'll definitely show that in 5, and then it'll suck that he's gone. But so yeah, those, 4 didn't have much, just very small conversation scenes which aren't memorable in my in the same way we're talking.